Hi, this is Stacy with GigaOM, and I'm here with Mark Wegleitner, Senior Vice President, Technology for Verizon. Hi, Mark.
Hi,
Thanks for joining us here at the Fiber to the Home conference in Houston, Texas.
my pleasure.
We're talking about FiOS, naturally, and kind of if you could start out by giving us a history of FiOS, how it came to be, and why Verizon is pushing fiber to the home.
Right, exactly. The FiOS really started in the early 2000s, say around the end of 2002, and during 2003 we came up with the technical specifications. We actually did that in conjunction with SBC and Bell South at the time. It was called the Tribach effort. It was really only Verizon that really stuck with the original plan to deploy fiber to the premises, as we call it, because it serves both homes and businesses. And in 2004 we launched, and in 2005 we added video, and now we're celebrating our 5-year anniversary.
Now, why did the other parties decide to go with fiber to the node as opposed to fiber to the premise? And it's been a criticism that Verizon has spent too much money delivering a service that maybe is too early or that no one even wants.
Well, probably have to talk to those folks to understand exactly why they did what they did, but I can tell you why Verizon did what we did, and that is, we were certain that broadband was going to be the key to the future, and we wanted a technology that was going to give us the headroom to provide the best service possible. And I think I can say this with confidence. History has proven us right in the last few years.
I think you're right. Now let's talk. Right now, you guys, your top service tier is 50 megabits per second down, 20 up, correct?
That's correct.
So with those speeds, what can you do? And then let's take it out to 100 megabits per second. And I know you guys could do symmetrical connections, the same being up and down if you wanted. How can we use all of that broadband?
Well, let's be clear on what we can do first, that we do 20/20 symmetrical today, as you said, 50 megabits down, 20 megabits up on an asymmetrical basis. We've tested 100 megabits down, and in fact our GPON specification, that's Gigapon specification, calls for 200 megabits sustained and 400 megabits peak, so we're already planning to go even beyond 100 megabits. What do you do with that bandwidth? Well, I mean, there aren't too many applications out there today that are going to require that on a singular kind of basis, but one of the things we're running into is the collaborative work, or I'll call it coincidental activity in a home, for example, where there's 3 or 4 PCs and other activities going on, where that kind of bandwidth can actually be brought into play. We've also understood that as we make this kind of bandwidth available, the applications will materialize. This is a machine between the CPE and the network and the applications, that as long as you keep feeding that machine, things will happen that will use that available capacity.
Now, some other providers, I'm thinking of Virgin in the UK, they're talking about doing home security systems over their network that might be able to take advantage of this. Are you guys looking at service offerings, or are you helping seed startups or anything that might have an interesting idea to take advantage of this capacity?
Well, we're listening to any reasonable idea about applications and services. In a lot of cases, we'll be partnering with these folks. They'll develop the application, we'll deliver it via our network. But I think the power of our network isn't just in the PON as much as that's usually what it's associated with. We also have a very powerful home network where we're using the MoCA technology, that's multimedia over coax alliance technology, that gives us, in the current instantiation, about 175 megabit per second local area network in the house. We already use this for some key applications like multi-room DVR, and media management, other things that will allow us to pull video and audio and pictures to the TV from the PC. We have plans really to make that home network available to a number of applications, and in fact the broadband home router we put in the house as part of the FiOS installation can really act as the host, if not, and as well as the coordinator for that service within the home.
So it's the brains directing all the broadband traffic.
At a
inside.
minimum, it'll do the connection management, but it can also actually provide the host for the service, the computing resource.
Very nice. And help me, or tell me about, as wireless speeds get a bit faster, so I'm thinking 4G like LTE from Verizon or WiMAX from Clearwire, some people are pitching that as a wired home network or wired home connection replacement. And I find that not a compelling proposition, but I'd love to figure out from you guys, providing super fast wired and super fast wireless, What? Why will we need wired connections to the home when we're going to have wireless speeds of like 10 megabits per second out?
Very good question. First, Verizon will offer both. Obviously, we've made a commitment to LTE on the wireless side. That's our 4G technology. We clearly have FiOS in the marketplace today. That's our broadband fixed technology. And in fact, there was a lot of speculation, say 3 or 4 years ago, that with the emergence of WiMAX at the time, which was grabbing a lot of the headlines, that it was going to make all of the fixed broadband solutions obsolete overnight. In fact, that's not true. And I think that what we're talking about here is the ability to deliver, say in the case of 4G technologies, half a dozen to maybe 10, 12, 15 megabits on an average basis. There's a lot of hype out there about the peak speeds of these technologies, but you can't really engineer a mass market broadband delivery system around peak technology because, from a sustained bandwidth perspective, it just isn't there. So I think, what we're going to have is, the perfect combination in Verizon of a broadband fixed solution that is going to provide a full suite of entertainment, information, and communication services, and then we're going to add the mobility factor, not as a replacement, but as a complement to that.
All right, thank you very much.
You bet, Stacy.